Hey guys, I'm Jake Winterton with the Backyard Customz Crown Vic Swap kit. Many of you guys have purchased this stuff. I've never really done any instructions on it because it's a fairly easy swap to do once you get to this point right here. Your hardest part here, honestly, is going to be figuring out what you want to do as far as if you want to pull your front clip off or if you're just going to pull the suspension off. I chose to pull the motor, trans, everything out, front end off of this, and get it to this point right here where I've cut off all the factory suspension rivets and factory front cross members. I recommend before you do any of that though, welding like a bar across the front of the chassis just to keep the frame rails straight when you start cutting all that stuff out. And now we're to the point where we're ready to figure out how to align your box kit and you get this Crown Vic suspension up in place in your Ford truck. So what you've got here, what I typically like to do, and most people on the forums like to do, is push this Crown Vic centering pin forward about 3/4 of an inch to an inch further of your factory center line. And so if you look down inside of here, you have two holes for where your factory bump stops were located. Once you pull all that stuff off, the two holes are exposed, and what I like to do with my kit is use the forward of the two holes, drill those out so that allows your centering pins for that Crown Vic suspension to come up through. After you get those drilled out, I will take a jack and jack the front end of the Crown Vic suspension up into the frame, making sure that those pins slide through. If you need to, you can drop it back down. Take a die grinder or something in there to hog out those holes so that it sits nice and flush, so that the bottom of this cross member is fitting flush up against the bottom of the frame, and then your centering pins are coming through. After that, you've got your Crown Vic kit. Comes with your boxing kits and your lower control arm mounts. And what I do is on your frame with the centering, using that forward centering pinhole, there is actually a hole directly above the top of it in the top side of the frame. And on the bottom of your kit, you have this hole right here is what helps align your centering pin with this box kit. So what you'll do from here is align this hole. I'll get some pictures and put in here, but and then you see the hole in the top of the frame. And what I do is I set this on, align it so that the back of this plate if you cut down through, is going to slide flush so that these side wings of this box will sit flush against the back of the frame, give you a nice solid spot to mount. At this point, after you get that lined up where you want it, take a Sharpie, trace around all the sides, front and back, and then your next step is going to be removing this box kit, taking a grinder, plasma cutter, sawzall, whatever you have, and you will cut the three sides of this frame off, and then clean up what you need to with the flapper disc, slide the box down through, and then you'll drill your holes for your four mounting bolts on each side, and this will slide over top of it. And as long as you have everything set where you need to, you may need to do a little bit of grinding to get things to sit nice and flush, and then you will slide the box kit down through, which we'll get to later. And so yeah, this is going to be your stopping point, and then take the cutoff wheel and get things cut.